Hello, fellow lovers of freedom and liberty. I'm Alex Jones. It's February 17th, 2010. In the last few weeks, we've reported on disturbing developments across the world as France, Italy, Australia, and other nations openly announce that they are imposing draconian internet censorship and restrictions that are even more oppressive than what we've seen in communist China. Well, now we have witnessed Google tell this office and Infowars.com that we are not allowed to have our own shopping cart on the Google Shopping Network system to sell our books and documentary films, which support our operation and, of course, educate the public, because it is hateful material. And I'm going to be reading over the letter here in just a moment. And in the last few weeks, we've had correspondence back and forth with them asking them to be specific. And they have been specific. We are not allowed to sell the Obama deception or follow the Republic because Barack Obama is part African. Now, the films are about him being the president and going back on his promises to get us out of Iraq quickly, to stop the torture, to not be part of banker bailouts, to not have signing statements or executive orders that circumvent Congress. I mean, the list goes on and on. The films don't even mention his ethnicity. Now, even if we were talking about his ethnicity, if you restrict people talking about racist free speech, then you can restrict everybody else's free speech. But I wanted to go over this letter. This is an incredible development. Now, we've written an article at prisonplanet.com and Infowars.com titled "Google Bans DVD Critical of Obama Administration. Search engine giant censors Alex Jones material for advocating against a protected group." And Tim Frugier, our shipping department and online shopping cart director, we have quite a few different shopping carts, noticed that we were banned over and over again from being able to have a shopping cart. And he noticed the Turner Diaries and other things that really do call for violent activity are allowed. And actually, white supremacists are allowed to have sites because they're ineffective against the New World Order. Now, that's fine and dandy. You just can't have a film that's in Newsweek and the New York Times and been seen over 40 million times for free online. God forbid we actually sell a DVD of it to be able to fund ourselves in the future, even when we give it out for free. And when Frugier questioned Google as to why the account had been disabled, he received the following response. "Hello, thank you for your email. Your data feed contains listings for items that don't comply with our program policies." And it continues to say, anti and violence, so anything anti-anything. Anti-fluoridation? No. Anti-banker bailout? No. Anti-GMO foods? No. Anti-abortion? No. Anti-Christian? No. But see, it's all selectively enforced. To anything that's really successful and popular, anything viral, that's when Google comes in with censorship. It goes on. Anti and violence, so anything anti and anything violence, products and associated websites may not promote violence or advocate against a protected group. The standard applies to anyone who wants to post on Google, whether we agree with their viewpoint or not. A protected group is distinguished by their race or ethnic origin, color, national origin, religion, disability, sex, age, veteran status, sexual orientation, or gender identity. I want this to sink in for you. France on Yahoo and Google and other systems has banned World War II memorabilia sites from selling Nazi war medals that people collect. It's history. It's like saying you can't own a Napoleonic medal because Napoleon was a bad guy. They set the precedent with that, and then next it's Alex Jones. And now Italy's saying you've got to have a license to get online, a license to have a blog, a license to upload video. Rudd over in Australia openly says he wants stronger restrictions than communist China, but he's running into a lot of resistance. Suddenly, all over the world, in so-called free government broadband that you pay for with your tax money, in England and Europe and Australia, we've gotten confirmed reports that people on their iPhones or laptops or computers can't access Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com. We covered that a few weeks ago. And major telecoms said, oh, it's an accident that your sites have been banned. So all of this is going on. We have the head of technology development at Microsoft at Davos calling for internet licensing to get online, worse than China. We have the UN calling for it. We have Time Magazine calling for it. We have the New York Times calling for it. Internet 2, censoring people. Google and Microsoft and others helped build the architecture of censorship in China. Now they're bringing it here. We have cybersecurity bill that's passed the House that states that the federal government will take over all IT companies. They'll have to comply with them and put their software in to monitor and block everything they want to control. That they're going to hire bizarre youth corps out of high school and college to man the new cybersecurity army to go out and censor. The Pentagon admits they're countering the American people who are anti-war on the web. This is admitted. Under Bush and now Obama, tens of billions a year are spent on fake news packages and propaganda placement in TV ads and movies and television. It's everywhere. Look, the bottom line is this. Massive censorship is taking place because the truth is effective. Alternative news across the political spectrum is dwarfing mainstream newspaper websites, mainstream television network sites. Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com are the number 1 and 2. Infowars number 1, Prison Planet number 2, alternative sites in the world. They know they've got to put the brakes on what we're doing. And the point is, it's our websites today, it's your sites, it's your comments tomorrow. YouTube's engaged in more and more censorship, also owned by Google. What do we do about this? We start using alternative search engines like startpage.com, Scroogle, Dogpile, and many others. A lot of them have total anonymity when you're surfing the web. We start exposing Google, and that's happening. I mean, even PC World says that Google is now the evil twin of Microsoft. Steve Jobs of Apple came out and said that Google's motto of don't be evil is a complete joke. It is. We see continued massive censorship by Microsoft, Google, and others. We're not seeing it by Apple, and I'm not saying they're perfect by any stretch, but we're not seeing it from them. We're seeing Yahoo engage in censorship worldwide. Please tell your friends and family about Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. There's a reason they're being censored. Every time we get attacked or censored or hacked or governments block us, we start more websites. We start new applications. We have one of the number 1 news apps now for free radio listening at the iTunes store. We're going to put a link up in the corner so you can download it for free and give it to your friends and family that are Apple users. We've got other free apps for the Android and other phone systems. This is the future of the internet, as everybody knows. So we're moving out and branching out, kind of like a starfish. You cut up starfish in 4 or 5 pieces to kill them. Each piece grows back. That's what we're doing. Because 14 years ago when I started, I was well aware from college in biology class about the starfish, and I believed in the starfish principle. That's been very successful for us. And that's what you should do as well. Every time you see a site being censored, whether it's WikiLeaks or the Electronic Frontiers Foundation and others, you need to promote them, support them. Some of you will say, hey, Google's a private company. They're allowed to do what they want. They control more than half the internet now. They admit they want to dominate all of cyberspace. They can't discriminate. In Nazi Germany, the first thing Hitler did was go and shut down Jewish stores and gypsy stores and Seventh-day Adventist stores. They first economically isolated people. This is a tactic that's been used. There is no equal protection under the law here. They just do what they want. They list you as a hater. Even if I was a hater creating racial strife, I should still have my freedom. But we're not. That's the point. They're even misapplying this. And it's also unfair trade practices. There's no appeal, there's no judge, there's no jury, there's no nothing. They say, you are attacking protected groups, and they give no example. This is amazing, ladies and gentlemen. Another example of government and big corporations that are larger than most governments, Google's the biggest corporation in the world now, of shutting down free speech was the Austin Gun Show. Here for 18 years, the feds came in without a law, without a statutory authority, and they just said, it's over. You're shut down. You're not going to have private gun sales here anymore, and ordered the owner of the building, HEB, to shut it down. Same thing. You can't have your website. Your IP address is blocked. You can't be read at the university, at the high school, at the corporation, on the free government broadband the FCC admits they're now funding with taxpayer money. And then you can't have your shopping cart. And then your IP address is totally blocked. So I beg everyone, while the internet is still somewhat free in the West, share the video links to Fall the Republic, to the Obama Deception. Buy the DVD at Infowars.com. Visit the other shopping carts we've still got at Infowars.com. Support what we're doing on the very cutting edge of freedom of speech. You don't even have to agree with all of our content, just with the fact that we have a right, just as you have a right, to have your say. to stand on your electronic soapbox. It gets even worse in the Cybersecurity Act. The Cyberbullying Act says that if something you say is hurtful on the internet, you can be put in prison for years. If you hurt someone's feelings, this is the new tyranny. This Google letter says if you're anti-anything, you're shut down. Then we said, how about we just sell the Obama Deception or Fall of the Republic? Not even in the other books or videos. And they said, no, that is the offending material. You cannot sell that. What is it about those films that scares them so much? Because it shatters the left-right paradigm. The censorship is here. They're probing. They're testing. They're pushing the boundaries. They're seeing what they can get away with. Are you going to allow the West, Europe and the United States, Australia, New Zealand, to slip behind an iron curtain of censorship and tyranny? Info warriors, the choice is up to you.